Hello everybody, welcome to Shogi Ramen TV. いらっしゃいませ. Let's enjoy Shogi with me. Today, I will introduce the how to defend against Bogin for the Ibisha player. I have already created for the Furibisha players, so today I will introduce for the Ibisha players. And there are two cases. The first case is for Sente. Let's see the case of Sente. Pushing pawn and pushing the pawn. In the Sente case, Sente can bring the silver for the defense of this position, but the Gote cannot bring the silver. So this is a big difference between the Sente and the Gote. Let's see the case of Sente. And Gote trying to the Bogin, climbing silver. They bring the gold, and silver is climbing, and move the bishop. This bishop is important against the Bogin. And silver here, and push the pawn. And in the Yagra games, against this silver, pushing the pawn is not so good because this silver can attack even if you push this pawn, and the edge attack by the silver is very strong. Let's see the example. Push back the pawn, bring the bishop, and pushing the pawn. Take, and take, and defend by the pawn. But the Gote can add the second lance, and this position needs to defend by the silver. And drop the pawn, and this is a tesuji. And next, this pawn will be sacrificed like this, and enter the lance like this. Take the lance with promoted. In this situation, the left side is almost broken. And you have the silver and lance, but it is difficult to defend and create the castle in the future. So if you don't like this position, pushing back the edge pawn is not so good. And pushing this pawn is the way. And how to defend against this silver? In this situation, the silver and the bishop can defend this position like this. So because of this reason, the pushing pawn is not needed. And for the Gote, it is difficult to continue attack by only the silver and rook, because silver and bishop is defending this position. So the next way is adding the bishop, and this bishop is also need to be cared. Pushing the pawn is the way to protect the bishop line. If you didn't protect against the bishop, there is a attack by sacrifice of the silver. This looks just sacrifice of the silver, but instead of the silver sacrifice, bishop can attack to the lance, and this promoted bishop is very strong, and this bishop can attack to the knight next, and it's difficult to defend this knight. If the knight jump, the rook can take the silver. So in this situation, this is better for Gote. So this pushing pawn needs to be cared, and the way is the pushing pawn. And how to continue attack from the Gote? This pushing pawn is one way. And this pushing pawn. This is the way to open the bishop line again. So if take this pawn, Gote can attack by the same way. And this is also better for Gote. So, but at this timing, the pushing pawn, the edge is a good way. In this situation, the silver needs to escape because the bishop line is not opened yet. So the escape the silver and take the pawn. This is the way against the pushing pawn. So in the future, the opponent can attack from edge, but you have already got one pawn. This is a good point. Okay, so if the Gote creating the castle like this, you also can create the castle, Yagra castle, like this. So in this situation, the king is here, and if the opponent push this pawn, your castle is already enough strong, and you can take the pawn. If the opponent will attack the same way, so in this situation, the knight is protected by the king, so that this castle is already very stable, and you can use the bishop for exchanging the bishop. If the promoted bishop escape, you can drop the silver to capture the bishop, so the opponent needs to take the bishop and take by gold. So in this situation, your castle is already strong and better castle against the Gote, and you have better pieces than the Gote. You have silver instead of the lance. So this situation, you can say that you have succeeded to protect against the Bogin. Okay, let's see the case of Gote. Gote needs to defend this position by the bishop, so this is the big difference between the center and Gote. Move the gold, and the center is climbing climbing silver, and moving the silver here. This is the way against the Bogin. This silver and gold will work against the Bogin. And this pushing pawn is important way against the Bogin. This rook is the key piece for the defense and attack. And about against the pushing pawn, in this situation, bishop is here, so you can push back the pawn because the bishop is protecting this position, so the opponent cannot attack from the edge. And the only way is attack from this line. And pushing pawn, rook pawn is the way. And Gote need to defend the head of the bishop, and exchange the pawn, and move the rook here. This position is very nice against the defense, and this position is also nice position to protect this position. And in this situation, if the opponent try to attack by the silver, take, take. And the most easy way is dropping the pawn. Rook is defending the head of the bishop, and against this pawn, if the pushing pawn, the Bogin, if the take this pawn, silver can take this pawn and attack to the bishop. This is bad situation for the Gote, but in this position, you can take the silver because silver and gold is defending this position, so you can take promoted pawn. So this is the way against the Bogin. So opponent has to escape the silver here or here. So this is the way to defend the Bogin. And there is another interesting way. Instead of the dropping the pawn here, this is the techniques using the pawn and dropping the pawn again. This is interesting tesuji. And take the by Rook. This Rook is called Ibisha. This is attack to the head of the bishop and attack to the silver. So it's difficult to defend both. So for example, if the silver escape, you can drop the pawn. And if the silver attack to the bishop, this looks nice, but this bishop can attack to the rook. So the situation is not changed. You can attack to the head of the bishop. This is the way. So in this position, this pushing pawn is not good way. So the opponent needs to create the castle. So it means you can succeed to defend this kind of the quick silver attack. I will introduce another way for the defense. I have already introduced the silver move here, and in this case I will introduce the Gangi style. Gangi is also one way to defend against the Bogin. This silver position and gold position called Gangi style. And against this position, not taking the pawn is important. If you take this pawn, silver can move here and attack to this position. So in the Gangi, only the gold is defending this position. So if the silver move here, it's very in danger for the Gangi castle. And the good point of the Gangi is this silver can take the pawn and back this position again. And this is a good point of the Gangi. And the silver is climbing from this line. Pushing pawn. This pushing pawn is important to use the rook for the defense. This rook position is a nice position in this situation. If the silver attack here, and you can take the pawn after exchanging the silver. So this is a good point of this rook position, and it's difficult to protect the knight and the promoted bishop. So this position is better for the Gote. So moving the silver to exchange is not good choice for the center. So dropping the pawn is the best way. And against this pawn, move back the bishop here is important. If the move here, opponent can move this pawn and use the bishop to attack this position. So this bishop position is best position. And center try to continue attack by using the silver, And in this case, also you can move the rook here. This is a nice position. And it's difficult to defend the knight and silver both. The only way is attack to the bishop by using the pawn. If the bishop escape, the silver can attack to this position. So need to take. And after that, the silver and the gold has been exchanged, and the Gote got the many pawns. And Sente doesn't have any pawns, so it's difficult to defend the knight. And if the drop the gold to continue attack, you can take the by bishop. Take by bishop is the important way. If the take by knight and take and drop the knight is a good way for the Sente. So the take the bishop is the best way in this situation. And after that, there is no good way from the Sente, and it's still difficult to defend the knight. So instead of the dropping the gold, escape the knight, you can create the promoted rook. And after that, dropping the gold looks nice, but there is a good defense using the pawn. Dropping the pawn and move the promoted rook, and escape the rook and drop the pawn again, and drop the pawn. So this is a nice strategy to block the rook, and after that you can take the gold. This is completely better for the Gote. So Gangi is one useful way against the Bogin. And for both cases, using the rook for the left side, this is the key point against the Bogin. Okay, thank you very much. See you next ramen. Bye bye.